Hi there, this is Pride Weekly. We'll start with Monday. Uganda's anti-queer law, which is one of the harshest in the world, is being challenged today at the country's constitutional court. Came in earlier this year with the death penalty for certain same-sex acts and tough punishments for promoting, facilitating and not reporting homosexual encounters. A number of organisations and individuals have come together to file a petition against the law. Delovi Kwagala is a queer Ugandan activist who's been living in South Africa in exile and tells Reuters they're scared to go home.
You don't want us in your country. You're not giving us jobs. You're not giving us education. You're not giving us medication. You are criminalizing people renting to us. Where do you want us to go? You are arresting us for literally doing nothing, for simply existing, But where are we supposed to go? How did we become refugees in our own countries?
Last week, America expanded visa restrictions against Ugandan officials in response to the Anti-Homosexuality Act. This claims gay conversion therapy is being carried out by a Christian church in the UK. BBC Panorama's heard from a former member of the Universal Church of the Kingdom of God. He says he was 13 when they tried to make him straight, with exorcisms to get rid of the demon inside him. Various other accusations against the church too, which it denies. It's got branches around the world, with 35 in the UK. And shiver me timbers, ahoy there me hearties, etc, etc. A judge on a queer hate crime case in America has compared LGBTQ plus people to pirates. Arrgh! Robert Clark Geddes from Iowa was appealing his conviction for posting notes at homes with rainbow flags outside saying, "Burn that gay flag." Without getting too into the weeds, there was discussion about whether flying a flag means you're linked to a particular group. One of the judges who was outvoted said not everyone who displays a pirate flag is associated with actual pirates. Fair enough. It's Pride Daily for Tuesday. What's a good way to protest against an anti-trans event? Arrange a pop-up drag show outside it. It's all to do with a meeting of the right-wing Turning Point USA group at California Polytechnic State University, which attracted about 100 boneheads. Over 300 people turned out for the drag, though, and to support trans people. They saw performers including Junie B. Moans, Mercy Killing, and Skinny Mocha.
We are here because TPUSA, they are holding a transphobic event, and we are here to say that we exist. We are educated, we know who we are, we know we exist, and they cannot take that away from us.
Also speaking to Mustang News was Jamie Larkin, who played at the drag show with his band Suburban Dropout.
It was really disappointing to see that Cal Poly, a public and government-owned institution, is allowing something that I am pretty sure a good amount of the students don't want to have happen on campus.
Allies held up signs saying trans rights are not up for debate and protect trans kids. A lesbian couple in Italy with a 3-year-old son and another on the way say they're being forced to leave. It's down to a government crackdown, which basically means if Christine, the biological mum, dies, her partner Chiara could lose custody. Chiara's on the birth certificate as a parent, but over the last few months, prosecutors have been contesting those records. The couple say it's a nightmare and going to Spain's their only escape route. And a former star of WWE who transitioned to female in 2021 says she fancies getting back in the ring. Gabby Tuft wrestled under the name Tyler Rex between 2008 and 2012, and she's got the taste for it again after visiting a training school recently. Says it's made her realise she's missed the sport, but now she'd take part as a trans athlete who loves her body. It's Pride Daily for Wednesday. Imagine being so transphobic you'd rather stay in prison for Christmas than not just keep your bigotry to yourself. Well, let me introduce you to Enoch Burke. An evangelical Christian, because of course he is, he used to be a teacher at Wilson's Hospital School in Ireland. He got suspended for being disruptive after a head teacher asked him to use the new name and pronouns of a trans pupil, which he wouldn't, cause religion. Burke kept on turning up at the school, breaching a high court order. It's seen him spend more than 200 days inside over the last 17 months. All he had to do during his latest hearing was promise to stay away, but he said that would mean giving up his Christian belief in male and female. Here he is speaking previously outside the school he shouldn't be anywhere near.
I've done nothing wrong. I'm 100% right. This is my workplace. I have a religious belief. I have a right not to be forced to accept transgenderism, to deny my conscience and to lead children really down a destructive path.
The judge had to step away 5 times during the latest hearing because of interruptions by Burke's family. Some of them were removed from court. The case will be reviewed in February. Poland's been told to legally recognise same-sex partnerships by the European Court of Human Rights. Comes after 5 same-sex Polish couples were prevented from getting married because the law in Poland says only a man and woman can. A new government's being sworn in there today, promising to make provisions for same-sex partnerships a priority. And what's this? Oh, just an American TV news presenter casually coming out live on air. No biggie.
Do you have to travel anywhere this holiday season? The extent of my traveling is probably going to Cleveland to visit my girlfriend. That's about it.
Talk about nonchalant. Taylor Brock on Spectrum News 1 Ohio there. First time she's mentioned a girlfriend publicly. Says it was a spur-of-the-moment thing, and she's blown away by all the support she's had. It's Pride Daily for Thursday. Florida's descent into the LGBTQ+ dark ages continues. A school there has been fined $16,500 for the heinous crime of letting a transgender student play on the girls' volleyball team. Monarch High is accused of breaking a state law called the Fairness in Women's Sports Act. The school's been put on a 1-year administrative probation with a number of staff there sanctioned. Hundreds of students have walked out in protest. Jordan Campbell's captain of the girls' volleyball team at Monarch High. She tells NBC6 this is supposedly all about fairness in sport, but
how about fairness among humans? Because right now she's not being treated like a human. She's not being treated like she's worth anything to anyone. I can tell you that she's the sweetest human being I've ever met, and she wouldn't hurt a fly. She was probably one of the favorites on the team that everyone loved. Everyone got along with her.
The trans student's been banned from representing the school in sports teams for a year, just to rub it in. Florida's also the home of the Don't Say Gay law that stops school kids learning about sexual orientation and gender identity. Argentina's scrapped its Women, Gender and Diversity Ministry. It's one of the first acts of the new far-right president, Javier Milei, and something he promised during his election campaign. The ministry was created in 2019 to deal with the likes of LGBTQ+ abuse and inequality. And the latest Heartstopper books become the UK's fastest-selling graphic novel ever. Volume 5 shifted over 60,000 copies in its first 3 days of release. The previous launch week record was just under 14,000 copies. Now, how could you not know this, but just in case, Heartstopper's about the love story of schoolboys Nick and Charlie. A 3rd series of the Netflix adaptation's just finished filming, and the thought of it so excites me, I may require a change of undergarments. It's Pride Daily for Friday. The homophobic wife of the Deputy President of Kenya in East Africa has had a Facebook account suspended. Dorcas Rigathi was unable to spread any hate for 3 days, the poor thing, after violating community standards. The pastor's recently said there's no place for queer people in Africa and called for the rejection of immorality. Gay sex can get you years in prison in Kenya, with much tougher laws planned as part of a family protection bill. MP Peter Kaluma's behind the proposals. Let's get a sense of his character.
I was a short while back in a foreign country, and you can imagine being approached by a fellow man asking me to go out and mess with him, sleep with him. And the guy has the audacity to tell me I look nicely round. What a level of perversion.
Oh, shove off. One of the world's harshest anti-queer laws was passed in Uganda, which is also in East Africa, earlier this year. Punishments include the death penalty and life in prison. A gay man who suffered abuse while serving as a soldier in Moldova has been awarded compensation. Marin Pavlescu will get the equivalent of around $6,700 because he was denied the right to respect and protection. It's the first time a court there has made a ruling on harassment on the basis of sexual orientation. Moldova's between Ukraine and Romania, and it's becoming more liberal about homosexuality. And you know those celebrity dancing shows on TV? Depending on where you are, they're called Dancing with the Stars, Strictly Come Dancing, etc. They feature men and women competing, don't they? So, that rather undermines the confected outrage of some bigots after a trans girl won the female category of an Irish dancing competition in Dallas. They say she had an unfair advantage, which is ridiculous. It's Irish dancing. A petition launched in support of her now has more than 3,700 signatures. I'm Kev McGrath. See you Monday.